Sounds like Attorney Jackson was missing a star witness.
An indispensable witness, Mr. Green.
Mr. Green sometimes is referred to as a star witness in criminal cases when their clients, in this case Nick Reiner, didn't have the money to afford their representation. As a result, Alan Jackson moved to withdraw. Now, we don't know the exact reasons, attorney-client privilege. However, he represented to the court that he had to withdraw. The judge understands what that meant, and what that meant was this kid just killed both of his parents, and the trust or the people running that family money were not about to allow him to pay Alan Jackson, a private defense attorney, for the defense. We can assume that Nick Reiner probably did not have his own funds, or certainly did not have enough money in order to afford this level of criminal defense representation. As a result, looks like from some articles, the family members moved behind to shut off all funds. So that means he's now going to get a public defender. Now, one thing that I don't think the prosecutor is going to like is what Mr. Alan Jackson said on his way out. And that was specifically kind of jury nullification or attempt at it when he said, I can tell you this, that he is not guilty and you can print that. Well, are you in or are you out? How do you know he's not guilty? You just told the judge you're not representing him, or are you now breaching attorney-client privileges where you know something or you're relying on a statement a client made? What this sounds like is what the whole world knows, is that you're going to make a defense by the reason of insanity, and you're basically going to blame the medication he was taking in order to put him in some type of schizophrenia mindset where he ended up committing a double murder of his parents. Now, at the end of the day, that's a little below the belt shot at the prosecutor. The prosecutor's office is not going to like that. There's a lot of judges that wouldn't like that because it's a little bit of a jury nullification. Tougher to get a jury with unbiased opinions going forward. Now, what that also does is that sends a message to basically all of the treating physicians of Nick Reiner. They're all lawyering up right now. They see where the defense is going. They're going to attack the medical professionals, whoever prescribed these medications, and they're going to say, okay, the state of California wants to hand the jury Nick Reiner. Who are they going to blame it on? Who are they going to hand to the jury? And that's going to be his treating physicians. Did somebody give him some prescription medication that somehow put him in an impaired state, a schizophrenia state, which resulted in the murder of his parents? That is what Attorney Jackson is referencing. That is telegraphing there's going to be a defense of a reason of insanity. And who are they going to blame? They're going to bring on the psychologists, the psychiatrists. At the end of the day, the evidence is too overwhelming. You have the murder weapon, you have the DNA, you have the arrest, you're probably going to have admissions. So now you need motive. You need to tell the jury what happened and why it happened. It's going to be just like a Law and Order episode. It's going to be battle of the experts. State of California is going to move to say, no, he knew exactly what he was doing. Reiner, or the public defender in this case, is going to try to look to their own experts to say, no, it was the medicine, it was the cocktail. Now, there's plenty of defenses. How, what, when, why? Was he taking the medication properly? Was he not? But that ultimately is going to be the only defense that I can see in terms of how Nick Reiner doesn't spend the rest of his life in prison.